It started like any ordinary evening at Denver International Airport. Passengers boarding, luggage carts rolling, the scent of coffee and jet fuel blending in the warm twilight. But at 6:57 p.m., one man quietly altered reality. A ground technician named Daniel Moreno, no pilot license, no plan, no motive anyone could explain, walked into a restricted hangar, climbed into a small twin-engine turboprop, and started the engines. The hum grew to a roar, piercing the calm, stretching the sky with possibilities no one expected. For Daniel, this was not rebellion, not theft, not a crime in the way the world would later label it. It was escape from himself, from everything that had made his life feel small, from the weight of invisible chains. Part 1. The Quiet Before. August 21st, 2019. Denver. The airport pulsed with ordinary chaos. Pilots briefed, passengers scanned, baggage carts rolling. Daniel moved among it all unnoticed. Just another uniformed face, another pair of hands loading luggage, tightening straps, checking cargo doors. Friends called him Danny. Cheerful, sarcastic, endlessly curious about machines. But behind the jokes and the laughter, there was a different story. A man who had once dreamed of soaring but had never taken flight. A man who had watched others touch the sky while he stayed earthbound, counting hours, counting days, counting moments. He grew up in rural Colorado, a boy of wide open fields and endless blue skies. He hiked mountains, ran along frozen rivers, and stared upward at clouds like they held the answers to questions he didn't yet know how to ask. Life took him to the city, where responsibilities piled up, where love came and left quietly, and where dreams of flying became memories of watching others. That evening, the sun painted the tarmac gold. Daniel walked toward a small Cessna Caravan parked near the hangar. It was empty, silent, waiting for him. No one noticed the quiet intensity in his eyes. No one saw the decision forming, a gentle yet unshakable resolve. Part 2. The flight begins. 6:58 p.m. The engines roared. From the control tower, a technician glanced toward the hangar, shrugging. Daniel had clearance to be near the aircraft. Nothing seemed amiss. 6:59 p.m. The small turboprop rolled forward, leaving the hangar behind. The runway stretched ahead like a silver ribbon. Daniel's hands gripped the yoke with both reverence and terror. He was not a trained pilot. He had never flown this plane. And yet, somehow, the years of observation, quiet study, and fascination came together in this one moment. 7:01 p.m. The aircraft lifted gracefully. Colorado's skyline unfurled below, the city's lights flickering on as the sun dipped behind the Rockies. Air traffic control scrambled, voices cracking with disbelief. Unidentified aircraft, taking off without clearance. Repeat, unauthorized departure. But inside the cockpit, Daniel was calm, almost serene. "Hey, I just needed a moment," he murmured softly into the radio. "Just wanted to see what the sky feels like without walls." Controllers guided him gently, offering advice, coaxing him to land. But he laughed, a nervous, childlike sound, and shook his head. Not ready for that yet. Not just yet. For the next 45 minutes, Daniel danced above Denver's mountains. He circled rivers, dipped over canyons, tested the aircraft's limits. Loops, gentle rolls, climbs into orange and purple skies. Below, people stopped their cars, lifted phones, and stared at the lone plane cutting arcs across the fading light. Through the radio, he spoke freely. About life, about dreams never realized, about the loneliness that clung to him even in crowded rooms. He apologized to air traffic controllers, laughed at his own audacity, marveled at the horizon stretching farther than any human could run. Part 3: The Final Descent. 7:45 p.m. The sky was indigo, the last streaks of sunlight glinting off snow-capped peaks. Daniel knew his flight could not last forever. Fuel was low. The world waited for him to land, for chaos to erupt. But he had chosen a final act on his own terms. He banked toward a small clearing, a flat patch of prairie surrounded by trees. Fighter jets arrived, buzzing in the distance, silent witnesses to the man's private rebellion. They formed a respectful distance, watching. Below, emergency crews prepared, unaware that this flight was not about destruction but about freedom. "Thanks for listening," Daniel said softly, almost to himself. He guided the turboprop down in a shallow arc, engines screaming a final farewell to the sky. A flash of light, a muffled roar, silence. On the ground, investigators would later find the plane damaged, but no one else hurt. And the recordings? His voice, calm, human, beautiful in its fragility, lived on. A testament to courage, to loneliness, to the desperate poetry of wanting just one last moment to touch the sky. They called him Sky Wanderer, not for defiance, but for the humanity he showed above the clouds. Not a criminal, not a legend of power, but a man searching for something only the sky could give him. Sometimes history remembers those who act. Sometimes it remembers those who feel. Daniel Moreno, the quiet technician, the lost soul, found a brief eternity above the Rockies. And for a few magical minutes, the world witnessed what it means to fly. Not to conquer, not to escape, but to finally be free. Even broken hearts can touch the horizon. Even ordinary hands can write legends in the sky.